Right.
Hello everyone, Chris here with Platinum Reviews. Today I have the latest Platinum review for Tales of Arise for PlayStation 5. Now if you are new to the channel and do not know about my reviews, a Platinum review is where I Platinum a game, I get all the trophies and then review it. That way I put in the time into the game to give it the best possible review. Now with all that fun stuff out the way, let's get this thing started. Tales of Arise was developed and published by Bandai Namco. Originally slated for 2020, it was delayed till September 2021. It's currently out on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It is an action RPG with fast-paced combat and a skill-based combat system. Before you can even start up the game, the startup screens give you a beautiful view at what's to come, with an amazing track that you will find yourself singing when you aren't playing the game. The story of Tales of Arise takes place in the world of Dana. The Danans are oppressed and thrown into slavery as the Renans that rule over the world compete in a contest amongst the regions to see who can gather the most astral energy of the Danans of that realm. Astral energy is a magical force inside of each person which, when harvested, allows the Renan ruler of that realm to wield magical astral arts in hopes of winning the crown contest. It is the hopes of Alphen, the main character of Tales of Arise, to rise up and end this grotesque contest that is causing so much pain and death amongst his people. With the help of his companions along the way, they work together to try and end the crown contest. I love how the game tackles real-life issues, and the developers deserve praise for handling race, and how someone could hate another person just for them being different with the story that they put out. When a game comes out and makes you think, can I be doing something more to help situations in the real world? I think that is what makes a game truly special. There's so many points in the story that I would love to talk about, but because I do not like spoiling anything in my reviews, I have to end the discussion right here. I will say, while most of the story can take you on a roller coaster through multiple plot points and intertwining storylines, the game does a great job at answering the important questions when they need to be answered. Now to talk about the characters for a moment. There are 6 characters in the game, with Alphen being the main character of the story. He is not who you will have to play as, however. That is because at any time you decide, you can play as any of the 6 characters in and outside of battle, each of them having a uniquely different playstyle. All 6 characters are so important to the story one way or another, whether they have playful banter in between fights or talking during major plot points in the story. The characters were always a welcome addition to any scene. Each character's voice actor did a splendid job at bringing these characters to life and putting so much emotion behind these characters at such pivotal moments. As I said, each character has a different playstyle, with well over 400 skills to be unlocked between each of the characters and a level cap of 100. It just goes to show how much they put into character development. There's also weapon forging and accessory crafting as well, which can put the items you find exploring to good use. Tired of how a character looks and want to add an eye patch or a halo? Not only can you change costumes that you gather during playing, but you can also add customization accessories to add some unique style to any character. Now, did you know that one of the most important parts of any JRPG is the music? When I think about what makes games like Persona or Final Fantasy so great, the soundtrack is right there amongst all the key talking points of any great JRPG. The high point of the soundtrack for Tales of Arise is the opening song. However, there is no low point. Granted, I would not play the whole soundtrack on a trip out of town, but the opening has already found itself onto my playlist and really set the bar that was way too high for the rest of the game to hit. However, beautifully orchestrated tracks between the regions, and especially that battle music, I just really don't have any negatives about the music, but the opening, which is so strong, it's hard to come close to it throughout the game. If you've never played any of the Tales of games before, then the playstyle would best be compared to more of the recent Final Fantasy games. It's an action JRPG, so fast-paced combat is what you have to look forward to. There's no stopping the fight to figure out the next course of action. These are things that you have to figure out while you're taking down your foes. The skills that you unlock can be swapped out between battles and assigned to either R1 or R2 or triangle on PlayStation. While there's only 4 characters in a battle at any time, the characters that you choose to sit out make appearances during strike sequences, and when their special meter hits maxed. Not only do you have your regular attacks and your art attacks, you also have strike attacks, special attacks, and a sort of ultimate attack. Battles that once seemed like a daunting task can feel like a breeze as you get stronger and unlock new arts and build your character's skill tree. One weird thing that the game allows is microtransactions to either give you 5 or 10 levels, or 100,000 gold, which is the in-game currency. I'm on the fence about this. I think it's weird to include that in a JRPG, where you can buy levels, but at the same time, they aren't forcing anyone to buy it. It's just an option that is available. I think this can be a good idea. If someone is stuck and would have stopped playing the game because they don't want to grind some levels, spend a quick $3 or $4 and now you're overpowered for that area. Which is nice, but it can take away from that level grinding element that has been around for so long, and other developers could follow suit, making enemies that much harder in hopes that you buy some microtransactions. I was never in a moment where I felt like Tales of Arise forced me to spend any money on any of these microtransactions, so I'm not going to count this as a con. It is, however, something to keep an eye on for future games. Graphically, Tales of Arise is beautiful. It is noticeable from the opening just how good this game looks, but when you see these vast areas with detailed enemies roaming in the distance, it's hard to focus on just one part to be stunned at. You end up taking in the whole world around you, and just when you think you saw all the game has to offer, you are thrown into a new region with a beautiful new environment to get struck by. The cinemas are beautiful in their own rights, but it's not until you get treated with one of those few specially animated cinematics that you feel like you are watching an animated movie. Being blown away by just how gorgeously animated those scenes truly are makes those moments that much more special. Now, on to my issues with the game. There are not a lot of issues that I have with this, just a few gripes and 2 of them being my main concerns. The first issue, which is not that big, is NPCs will sometimes not appear correctly. It's not until you are right next to them that they will pop up just randomly. Like I said, it's not a huge issue, but when you're trying to find a subquest and the NPC pops up randomly in front of you, it can take away from the overall experience. My 2 concerns are the cosmetic accessories that you can equip to your characters also carry over to cinematic animations. So if you choose to equip wings to a character, for example, those wings will be blocking other characters completely to where they will not be shown until a camera angle shifts. This could have been easily avoided by not allowing accessories to be shown during story moments. The second concern is characters' voices do not match with the lips during these same cinematic animations. The lips will move and they're saying what they're saying in the game, but the timing just seems to be way off. I say sometimes, but I noticed this in many of the story cutscenes. I normally wouldn't let something so trivial get to me, but how easily noticeable and how frequent it happens is just something I cannot overlook. Those are honestly my only issues with this game. I enjoyed every moment from start to finish. Even the end-game content was both enjoyable and challenging. Easter eggs in the form of artifacts throw nods at previous Bandai Namco games, while the inclusion of DLC like Sword Art Online characters and costumes bring excitement on what could come in the future. I can easily say that Tales of Arise is my game of the year. I would give Tales of Arise a 9.5 out of 10. I recommend this to any Tales of fan and any JRPG fan looking for a game to get lost in. Also, if you watch this review before November 30th, I believe it is on sale with Black Friday. I want to say like 30% off. This would be the best time to get this game, so definitely suggest it. As far as the platinum would go, I would give it a 4 out of 10. It's not too difficult. Some late game bosses and end game bosses can get pretty tough, but a few retries and changing your strategy should be enough to beat them. There is a missable trophy. There's only one, but there is a missable one. Anytime you see R1 pop up in the bottom right corner, I guess RB for Xbox, be sure to click it. This is optional dialogue. These also unlock through campfire resting, eating certain foods, and completing certain tasks. Once you get 300 out of the 320 possible dialogue cutscenes, the trophy will pop up. No guide is needed for this. As long as you keep an eye on the bottom right corner, you will be good. But definitely keep an eye on there because you only have 20 things that you could potentially miss. If anyone has any questions about any of the trophies, please let me know in the comments down below. Or if you just have any questions about Tales of Arise, let me know and I'll try and help you out the best I can. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like the review. Helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. Also follow me on Twitch and Twitter. I try and do some giveaways. Recently did one for Tiny Tina, so I try and do one hopefully every month or so, just to kind of show support for the people that are showing support from me. So be sure to find me on Twitter and Twitch, and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Thank you everyone for watching the Platinum Review for my game of the year, Tales of Arise. I will catch you on the next video, and as always, keep getting those trophies.